When I was first having to learn to work from home about a year ago, I realized that my setup was not working at all. It was cramped and kind of just against a blank wall in a corner, and it was depressing. And I also had all these other little things kind of getting in the way. So I started, chipping away at it. And, some of the initial things to think about, everyone's having to make adjustments on some level for the last year. You probably already know what's working for you and what's not. And now that you're a weekend, that being successful at Coder Girl requires a lot of time and concentration. A big part of this class, your learning takes place outside that 3 hours a week that you get here with us. So what can you do to improve things if you've got some things not working for you? I'm going to start off just by talking a little bit about my own approach I want to emphasize that this took place over time. Like I said, I was chipping away at it. It's not something I just kind of did all at once. The first thing is I realized it was very easy for me to think about my practical considerations because that's kind of the way I'm wired. But I'm not very good at paying attention to how I feel or what's affecting me on kind of like an emotional or mental health level. So I had to kind of really tune in on that. And then I realized that it was kind of the most important part. And I thought about what some of the obstacles are that I was running up against. And then I thought, okay, what kind of solutions can I have that will meet all of these needs? So let's talk first about engaging the senses. I realized that natural lighting or soft lamp light was really important to me. It actually really makes a difference for my mood. I also thrive in a clean, organized workspace, and it is very easy for things to get, to pile up and get cluttered. I also am aware that I kind of just need either silence or something that just kind of helps me tune out distractions. And music can do that for me if it's the right music. Fresh air or a fan helps me sometimes lift my mood a little bit. Having a nice scent, having a candle nearby or something, not being hungry or thirsty, that can be really, really distracting. And also comfortable and reasonably pain-free. And that may not be an issue for you. It's an issue for me. I've got some back issues, stuff I was just born with, and I'm in pain all the time. So trying to reduce that was actually a pretty important thing for me. So I thought about some of the obstacles related to all of that. And, there's noises that are outside of my control. I'm sure you can hear right now my parakeets chattering up a storm behind me. Bad timing, but they're actually pretty nice most of the time. But I live right on kind of the city border. It's a busy neighborhood. There's lots of noise outside. Sometimes it can be very distracting. I have a very small house, not a lot of space, and so my office pretty much has to be in my living room. There's just no way to fit it into my bedroom. So I kind of had to figure out how to address that. And then, I did have too much clutter for sure. And like I said in the beginning, it was just kind of depressing. I didn't have anything that was kind of like, colorful or interesting or, something to kind of just lift my mood. And I absolutely cannot work and watch TV at the same time. So that's kind of a big one. I have cats. In particular, when I first did this presentation for a previous cohort, my kittens were a lot younger. And man, as long as they're entertaining each other, they're cool. But when they want me to play with them, all of a sudden they're walking across my keyboard. If you have cats, you understand this, right? And then there's dogs wanting to be walked and things like that. And then interruptions from others in the house. My mom lives overseas and she visits and stays a couple months with me every year. And she likes to pretty much just kind of camp out in the living room and watch TV. And that's where I am. So that has been a problem in the past. I also am really bad about forgetting to eat or drink. And then I'll realize I can't concentrate, and that's probably why. And then I tend to ignore my pain, and then it kind of stresses me out. So then I was like, how can I, take action and work at making these things a little bit better? So I put my desk by a window. That was kind of the first thing that I did like a year ago. Just rearranged everything, and it made such a difference. I got a desk lamp actually more recently that makes it much easier after dark to have nice lighting. And I cleared my desk of almost everything except for my computer equipment, and then kind of like over on the side, I have some things, out, but I've got some bins underneath the desk where I organize things, and it helps me stay sane to not have so much all over my desk. And I put some things nearby that make me happy. Got some little postcards that I got from friends, things like that. I play music that helps me stay focused. I use earbuds, and I do not watch TV. I turn my phone ringer off unless I'm expecting an important call. When my mom's here, I hold boundaries with her and make sure she uses her headphones for TV or doesn't interrupt me for anything that can wait until later if I'm really, in the zone working on something. And I actually built a fort out of boxes for my kittens, and it helped so much, I can't even tell you, to keep them occupied when they were really, really, bugging me all the time. So let's see. To help with my pain, I used a pillow behind my back in my desk chair, and I got an ergonomic footstool. Actually, my occupational therapist gave it to me. And that has made a huge difference in just not really, really stressing my back out as I'm sitting so much. I wear comfortable clothing, easy to do when you're working from home, of course. I try to get up often to stretch and walk, but without breaking my kind of mental pace as I'm, really hunkered down into a project. And then I make sure I eat before I sit down to work, and I keep water on hand all the time so that I don't have to worry about getting thirsty. I also saved up and got a second display, like a pretty nice one, similar to what you're seeing in this picture, which is not my office, by the way. So I can see more things at once and kind of, keep everything in front of me without having to switch windows around. And this is a little bit of a luxury for some of us. It was the first time for me, but it has made a massive difference for me, just having to, juggle everything, especially when I'm helping students in a Zoom session. So this is what my home office looks like now. You can see I've got my little tech station all set up, and I realize that's a lot of screens and computers. Actually, one of those is my work laptop, and then the other two monitors, somebody on Nextdoor in my neighborhood was giving away for free, and he's a developer and was upgrading all of his stuff, and I was like, yay! So now I have 4 screens, which is insane, but it's wonderful. I got my cables all organized under the desk, got all of my, things. I told you about the little bins. You can kind of see those under the desk there. My little writing area, and where I've got some of my postcards and things over on the right. And of course, the most important thing, the kitten stretching zone, which is also where my work lab resides, but obviously it was closed. So what about you? I think that you have an opportunity here not to have to take a whole year to figure all these things out, but you can kind of think about it now and maybe, make some changes up front that'll make a really big difference for you. So what kind of sensory input do you need? What kind of obstacles are you running up against? And what solutions will help you overcome the obstacles, meet your practical needs, and take your mental health into consideration? So I just want to encourage you, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. It doesn't have to, be anything really overwhelming. Small changes will actually make a big difference. So just think about what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and see, what you can do to improve it. And, you'll find that your study sessions, your work time, whatever it is that you're doing or you're spending time working will be a lot more fruitful when you actually have a good environment to work in. And that's it.